Welcome to my channel, guys. This is a video of you're looking to buy a 4.6 stroker for your Jeep. There's many sites online where you can buy them, but I sell them on Marketplace, and just anyone who wants to come to my machine shop. I got full-on machine shop here, all the tools that you could possibly need to put an engine together. And shoot, we do farm equipment, so I do a lot of industrial farm stuff, just all under there, so know a lot about that kind of stuff. It's mostly tractors, but I do like to do some of these. So you see me on Marketplace or something like that, or you walk in my shop, you got questions on a 4.6 stroker for your Jeep, and you want to buy one. Well, here's kind of an informational video. Whether you're buying it from me, whether you're buying it online, it's gonna be the same. Little variances, maybe different performance packages or whatever you want to do. But I figured I would make a video so that way I could save myself some time on explaining things over and over again, when I could just send you a link and here you go. This is what you get when you buy a 4.6 stroker from me. And yeah, sorry, you buy it from someone online, it's going to be very similar. But I would honestly say, support your local machine shop. I mean, if you're in the area, sure, great, stop by me. I'll help you out there. I'll ship it if you really want to. Not that, that's expensive, and online guys are really good at that. I'm not, but I can do it. But online, it's great and all, but do you know the person who's building your motor? Do you know that person is going to be putting the care into it? They've got a reputation and all that, but how's their customer service? You buy it from me, you're talking to me. It's me, my dad, my brother in this business here, and so I'm the guy who's building your motor right here. So 4.6 stroker, let's get started. First off, here's your block. Well, to start it off, everything here on, don't worry about that other project. So we're going to be focusing on this spot here. Here's your 4-liter block. This one is a 98 block. It has been shot blasted, and it has been bored 20 over. You'll see online, oh, this guy has a 4.7 stroker. Well, guess what? Whoop-de-doo, big deal. The only difference is he took it from a standard bore to a 40, and yay, you gain another horsepower too. It doesn't make a difference. This is a 4.6. This is bored 20 over. If you bore 40 over, you get a 4.7. It's not worth the extra number. This, I have already test fitted the crank, and let me lock this down. It has been line honed. It had a little bit of warpage in the block. This one has been decked, and so I have test fitted the bearings and the crank. So if you buy a kit from me, you can assemble it yourself, or if you don't trust yourself, I'll do it for you. We have cam bearings installed, ready to go. Those are Durabond. These are Clevite. Actually, these are sealed power. That's what I had available to me at the time, because ever since COVID, things are difficult. Let's see. So everything's been shot blasted. Oil galleys are cleaned out, and to make sure every bit of shot is out. And then freeze plugs are out. So I have a freeze plug kit. I only do brass. I do not put regular steel, mild steel, or zinc freeze plugs in water galleys unless I am desperate. Only brass, because brass lasts longer and it looks better. So, shot blasted, it looks nice. And let's see, let's turn this over. In this case, this block has been decked. Stay away from the Instagram people that say you have to have a motor decked. You don't. This one needed it, so I did it. but decking only shortens the life of a block because you can only deck it so much. So this one is done. Cylinder head. This one has been ported. I had some time and I put in the effort. Don't lowball me on a port job. It's a lot of work. It takes me about 6 hours to do it, and I do it on the cheap. Not that I'm cheap, but comparatively, it's just manual labor. It's very hard. So don't lowball me or anyone else on port work. If you know what you're doing, you understand. It is got a little bit of surface rust. It's cheap casting. And so it was shot blasted. It's got a little surface rust, but that's okay. When we paint it, it'll neutralize that rust and we're good. Valves, I only do stock valves. Reason being, any bigger, you're going to get shrouding. Well, it's shrouding that's too small of a distance in between your valve and the side of the combustion chamber. So if you really want bigger valves, I can help you out with that. You can go to an LS size, like that you find in a 5.3. But you have to cut the combustion bowl out a little bit to make those fit. So here's your cylinder head. I can do aftermarket springs, but it's not necessary with this build. This has the stock springs in here, and because really you're not going to be able to do too much with a stock head. There's the cam is limited on what you can do with a stock head. There's people who make aluminum ones or better aftermarket ones. There's all sorts of stuff you can do, but this is a 98, and so this is what I had to work with. Camshaft. This one, here we go, 68501-5. Comp used to be the greatest name out there. Ever since they got sold 2-3 years ago, they kind of went downhill. But I just installed one of these, and I had good luck with it. Just be careful with your break-in. It is a flat tappet hydraulic, so be careful with that. Use a good break-in oil, and then do a good break-in procedure, holding it at 2,000 RPM for about 10-15 minutes, and you'll be good. So what this one does, it adds 30 lift to your valves, and but the duration and all that stays the same. So just an extra 30 lift to breathe a little bit better. That's also really good with the ported head. Not that I have a bench flow tester, but from stuff I've read online and videos on YouTube, just simply a little bit of porting and polishing a head will give you an extra 10% flow on these heads, because they're really rough cast. I do not get a mirror finish on the intake because you don't want that. You want the fuel to atomize well as it passes through the ports. The exhaust I get as shiny as I can, because you don't want soot sticking to the side of that. Moving on, we've got your regular Clevite rod bearings. We've got a Engine Pro Racing double row timing chain. The Achilles heel of these motors is too weak of a timing chain. Every time I build one, the chain is always stretched, every time. This one, we can get fun. If you want to purpose build your motor, whether you want rock crawling or whether you want to drag race it, whatever you're doing, you can always change your cam timing. So that's what this can do. So you can retard it or advance it 8 degrees. Fantastic little set here. It's not much more than the stock one, and it's going to be a whole lot better. It's billet, and it's good stuff. Milling oil pump is included in that. Again, main caps. This is the 98 engine, so it's got a main set girdle to hold all the main caps together. You can put it in. You've just got to space it. You got to be careful because you got a little extra stroke in there, so you're going to have to put some spacers underneath it to raise your girdle. But it does fit in the oil pan. but again, you have to be careful. And then this also has a Felpro silicone gasket, very nice. So that gives a little extra lift to make room for that girdle because it does get close. So you can use it, you just need to put little spacers in there until it clears. This is a 4.2 liter Jeep crankshaft. This one has been ground 1010 and polished, looks shiny, ready to assemble. Everything's been test fitted. So new bearings, so I tested it, everything fits, and it's ready to go. Moving on to pistons, or actually rods. So rods, everything's been reconditioned, everything looks nice. They were in spec, but I just touched it up with the hone just to clean up any little high or low spots. So that's all good. These are 4-liter connecting rods. So the only difference is you got a 4-liter and you're going to be using your 4-liter rods. The only thing you are changing is the crankshaft for a 4.2. This one is a used crank that I had on the shelf, but I can get scat, all sorts of different things. These are the pistons. I sell Icon and Silverlight and KB pistons. So those are the ones that I sell, and very common, reputable brand. These are press fit. So if you'd like, I can install the pistons on the rods for you. But if you're doing like a forged rod or something, those can be installed with clips. The pistons come with clips, but these are press fit. So I've got a rod heater to do that. This one is a, here's the part number on this one. Very common one to go with, IC 944. It's a 20 over piston. What's beautiful about these, forged. And what this piston does is it's going to raise your compression ratio up from 8.8 to 1 to 9.6. It's on the top of my head, I could be wrong. I want to say it's a 21 cc bowl in that piston. And these pistons will be upping, you will be losing some weight in the piston. This one specifically with the rings measures 410 grams with the rod, with the pin and rings and piston. That is significant. I want to say on the top of my head that's 150, maybe even 200 gram drop from your stock piston weight. So when it's all said and done, you're going to lose about 2 pounds on your reciprocating weight. So when you get up in the high RPM, you're not going to be risking anything blowing up because of weight, and you're not going to be, you're going to have faster acceleration. Whole lot of words to be said here. Straight sixes are naturally balanced. They do not need to be touched. Now, if you want, I don't have a balancer. Mine's broken, but I can have it balanced. Not that big of a deal, but typically when they get balanced, you're going to remove maybe 10 grams away from the crank. So if you want this thing to be a sewing machine, let me balance it. If you don't care, it's going to be fine without it. You're hardly going to notice, but this is great. So they're naturally balanced, so you can throw whatever piston you want. You're not going to be throwing off your balancing in the motor. V8s, yes. V6s, absolutely. Straight sixes, no. So that's what we got going on in pistons. Your options for pistons are, I got a couple of options. We can go with a KB piston. That is a hypereutetic. Those are 8.8 to 1 compression ratio. But that's the only piston available for that. Now, if you want a forged piston like this one, you have options of 8.8, 9.6, and 10.7 to 1 compression. I am a big fan of the 9.6. It just runs right. You're going to be right up there with the compression ratio of a brand new truck. I find with the 88, stock fuel is going to be just fine. Regular 87. If you go to the 9.6 to 1, because of cast iron head, because that creates hot spots, you will ping a little bit on 87. If you want, you could do 87 mix with a 89, and that'll even it out. Or you could just, if you really don't care, and if you're going to spend an extra $1, just fill up with 89. You're going to be happy. It's going to run a little bit better. It's not going to ping. 10.7, you are definitely going to be running 91. Don't even try. 10.7 compression, run 91. It's a high performance motor at this point. So as far as smog, if you're in California, you're gonna maybe have to play with it a little bit on the 9.6. You're probably gonna want to move your timing, your camshaft timing on the bell housing to retard your timing a couple degrees, so that way you can cool down your combustion temperatures. Maybe you'll get lucky. Now, you probably will get lucky with the 9.6. But I just have to say that just as a disclaimer. You might have to maybe throw water injection. That'll drop your temperatures on the... But everything else, the cam, you're going to pass with the 30 lift. Not a problem. That's such an insignificant amount, but it makes it run a little bit better. So if you put 8.8 in there, for sure you're going to be passing smog. Not a problem. 9.6 might have to play with it. Ours passed. Just saying. But yeah, 10.7, yeah, it's not going to pass. Probably not. So you just kind of choose what you want to do there. This one I have sold, and it's going to be assembled right now, and the customer wants it painted black. So I can paint it if you'd like. If I'm assembling it, it's a little hard to paint if it's unassembled. And when I paint a motor, I don't rattle can it. I hate rattle cans on something like this. Now, if it's something cheap, like I'm doing an intake manifold job or something like that, I'm not going to go set up my spray system for that. But in this case, I want to do a good job. It's going to be a Pour 15 black, rust-resistant paint. They're fantastic. Love it. I got all sorts of colors. Like, shoot, look at this beautiful guy right here. Oldsmobile 78 403 for Trans Am. This one's actually custom color. This is GM corporate blue. And then I've got Chevy red on my Cummins block over here. If you're interested in that, go ahead and look that up on my channel. But yeah, I figured I'd give you a rundown of this is what comes with your 4.6 stroker. Again, just to say the relay it, 4-liter block. Everything in there gets reused except for pistons, of course, because of the different rod length, because you're going to be using your 4.2 crankshaft. That pretty well wait, one more thing. Make sure you run 24-pound injectors. I can throw a set of these in here for you, but 5.0 Motorsports makes some. They're 24-pound injectors. I can take care of that for you if you'd like. Throw that in the box. But you're going to want those because you're going to be using a little bit more fuel. You need a bigger injector. As far as tuning, no tuning necessary. The computer will self-learn. So as long as you don't run out of map, you're going to be fine. Which, with this, I'm going to do a video of me driving my dad's Jeep, which we did this to it, and it runs fantastic. Man, what kind of power it has. So we're going to be doing a video on that pretty dang soon here. But yeah, make sure you run 24-pound injectors. Don't try it. Don't try the stock ones. It's not worth it. They're $350, $400, somewhere in there. I can't remember. But it's not worth trying the stock injector. You will lean it out and blow something up. So there it is. Have any questions, let me know. Yeah, hope this was helpful. Whether I'm putting this together for you whether someone else is, they're all the same for the most part, unless they're doing fun stuff like aluminum heads or a custom head. There's all sorts of things you can do. But yeah, for the most part, there it is. I'm going to get on assembling this one for the guy that I just sold it to. So thanks for watching, and yeah, watch my other stuff. There's some pretty cool things